Okay, go. Hey, Trick Kids here. This is Miss Schaff with her first video. Bree Bauer is taping me. Alrighty, so here we have a polynomial where the leading coefficient is not 1. And unfortunately, we can't divide all these terms by 6. So here we are in a pickle we can't use our x method that we talked about earlier. So I have 3 different methods that you can use to solve these types of polynomials by factoring. So the first method is basically setting up a problem like you normally would with factoring when you can't take out a common factor. And then thinking about it in terms of, alright, we know those 2 terms have to equal 6x squared. So we're going to, over here, come up with our factors of 6. So our factors of 6, we only have 1 times 6 or 2 times 3. So it's either going to be 1x and 6x or 2x and 3x. For our second position, we know that those 2 terms have to multiply to negative 18. So we're going to come up with, we're going to ignore the fact that it's negative right now, and we're just going to come up with our factors of 18, which would be the same factors of negative 18, just plus or minus. So 1 times 18, 2 times 9, or 3 times 6. Now, somehow in combination of a factor pair over here and a factor pair over here, using our outer and our inner parts of FOIL, our goal is to arrive at 23. So let's keep that negative 23, let's keep that in mind. So basically this is a guess and check process. I'm going to give you a heads up. The best place to start is towards the middle, not the extreme. So these are probably not going to work. It's probably going to be 2x and 3x and one of these. So I'm going to go ahead and just start by testing these 2. So let's try it. So if we did 2 times 2 and we did 3 times 9, let's see what numbers we come up with. We're going to have 4 and 27. Do those 2 numbers in any way combine to negative 23? In this case, we might have just gotten lucky, or I know the answer. But we'd have to have positive 4 and negative 27. If we did 4 minus 27, that would equal negative 23. So that means that we're going to be using 2x and 3x as our first terms. So 2x and 3x to get our 6x squared, and 2 and 9 to get negative 18. But here's the trick. We multiplied 2 times 2, so with our FOIL, we were going to multiply this term times the last term over here. So our 2 is going to go over here. That way we get 2x times 2, and our 9 would go here. And since we want our 27 to be negative, this would be 27x. We need our 9 to be negative, okay, and our 2 to be positive. So there we have our problem factored. Now we just need to set our factors equal to 0. 2x minus 9 equals 0, and 3x plus 2 equals 0. Add 9 to both sides, divide by 2, so we get 9 halves as one solution, and here we subtract 2, divide by 3, we get negative 2/3. Alright, so there's method number 1, guess and check. But if you like a more direct algorithm, here's another option for solving, or another method to solve problems like this. Alright, so how we actually start this problem is we actually set it up in a way that we take this leading coefficient and we actually multiply it by our constant to begin with. So in that case, we would end up with x squared, and you actually kind of get rid of it when you multiply it, minus 23x minus 108. The nice thing now, we have to keep in mind this is not the same equation as this. We're going to have to remember that we did this, is that now we have a leading coefficient of 1. So we can set up our x with a negative 108 up top and negative 23 here. So 2 numbers that multiply to negative 108 and combine to 23 would be 4 and negative 27. So now we have a situation here where we know, now we can't just write out, unfortunately, we can't just say x minus 27 and x plus 4, because that wouldn't end up multiplying to 6x squared in the beginning. So we need to do something different. We need to set up our box, okay, and we know that our first term has to be 6x squared, and our last term has to be negative 18. But in this case now we have a negative 27x and positive 4x. Those two would add together to make our negative 23x. So to work backwards, we're trying to come up with the factors. So in this case, what we have to do is we have to look at these two terms here and look for a common factor. What we can take out of these two terms is a negative 9. Likewise, what we can take out of these two terms is a 2x. Now if we look horizontally, what we can take out of these two is a positive 3x. And here we can take out a 2 out of both terms. So here, and sure enough, 2x times 3x is 6x squared. Negative 9 times 3x is negative 27. 2x times 2 is 2. Negative 9 times 2 is negative 18. So here up top and along the side are our factors of this problem here. So if we take it down, we have 2x minus 9 times 3x plus 2. And again, this is the same factor pattern that we had in the first example. Obviously, it's the same problem, so we get the solution of 9/2 and negative 2/3. Alrighty, so choose whatever option, whatever method you prefer, option 1 or option 2 on your work tomorrow. Bye.